What's up, guys? I think I can help you learn more quickly, help you get to where you want to go in your language learning journey. So I encourage you to listen to this video. Today's topic is why you should compare yourself to others when you learn. So I've got my notepad here. But anyways, let's go through it. So if you want to improve at something, especially something competitive, but anything in general, in life, then comparing yourself to other people is absolutely necessary. Okay? So the reason I say that is absolutely necessary, maybe not, but efficient, yes, very efficient. So you could learn everything without ever comparing yourself to another person. You could theoretically do that, but it would be very difficult and take a long time. So when you're comparing yourself to other people, when you're trying to learn something, you need to compare yourself like you're a scientist inspecting that person and what they're doing, and not like a fanboy or a hater, okay? So let me make that clear. When you start comparing yourself like a fanboy or a hater, right, then you're letting your ego get in the way of that interaction. When you look at it as like a scientist or somebody who's curious, then you can actually gain valuable information from that person. Then you can actually take a step back, let your ego out of the picture, and just gain the information that's actually relevant to you, that's actually going to move you forward. Okay? So the first thing to understand before starting to actually go down this process, right, is to think about the fact that you can do it too. If somebody's better than you at something and you want to become like that, you can do it, right? You can even become better than them, all right? They're just doing something. They have information, they have expertise, they have, for example, if you're doing a sport, maybe they have physical attributes that you don't have or that you haven't exactly developed yet. But either way, there's a gap between you and them, right? And you can fill that gap. You have to go in with the knowledge and the confidence that you can fill that gap, okay? So once you understand that, it stops being like, oh, this person's amazing, I could never do what they're doing, into the fanboy mindset. And it becomes, how did he get there? Because I can do the same thing as well. So I want to figure out how to do that, okay? And what information I need to get to that level. Okay, so the kind of questions you want to ask when you compare yourself to other people and you compare what you're doing to what other people are doing is, for example, what does he do that I don't in whatever situation you're in? So it could be a variety of things, but if you're doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what does he do in half guard that I don't do in half guard? What does he not do that I do? So what wasted movement am I doing? Or what thing should I just be like, what point in time should I just be more patient and not do something, right? How did he learn? What was his method? What was his schedule like? What was his mindset like? What is his mindset like, right? So these are just very simple questions you can ask about somebody. And again, you're not fanboying, you're not jealous over them. You're trying to not become like them, but you're trying to take aspects of the way they learned and apply them to yourself for your own benefit, okay? So think about this question. What do you think is truly faster? Okay, figuring out everything alone with your own brain power, or using all of the combined efforts of humanity, okay, to figure out what you're trying to get to achieve your goal, right? So why would you ignore people who are already experts in the field you're interested in? Why would you ignore all the collective effort that's gone into it beforehand? Okay, don't ignore it. Go and use that information. Don't let your ego hold you back because you're jealous of that person or you don't like that person. Or when you compare yourself with that person, you see that you're relatively in a lower position when it comes to this specific field. Don't let that hold you back from utilizing the information they can provide for your own personal benefit. Okay, moving on. So the final key, use this information for your path. Use this information to get to where you want, right? I'm not encouraging you to be a copy of somebody else, because when you just copy what someone else does, you're not going to get the exact same result, right? You're a different person. You have different thoughts, different DNA than that person. Even if you copied their method and what they did, you're not going to have the exact same result as them, okay? Your best method, the perfect method for you, the perfect learning method for you is going to be different from that person and you. And also the skills you gravitate within your skill, the concepts within your skill that you gravitate towards, that you enjoy, are going to be fundamentally different. So what I want you to do is look at that person, compare what you're doing to them, and see what kinds of things you can take from them and apply to what you're doing. Okay, I'm not telling you to become a copy of that person. Again, that's like fanboying. And I'm also not telling you like just completely ignore that person, pretend like they're not as good as you, pretend like they don't exist. That's being jealous, right? Okay, so stop letting your ego get in the way of you learning. Even if you don't like somebody, you can still learn from them. I know this is like one of the most difficult things for people to actually get past. But many times in my life, there's been somebody who I don't really like personally. I don't like the way they act. But when it comes to doing a certain skill or performing something, and they are better than me at it, I've had to go, you know what? Clearly they're doing something right. Clearly they know something I don't. So I'm going to learn from this person. Okay, not because I'm their fanboy, not because I'm jealous of them, because I just want to improve myself. So I'm going to compare what I'm doing to what they're doing, and I'm going to adjust, okay? Part of that probably was ego, because I just wanted to get better than people I didn't like when it came to certain skills. But anyways, moving on. In my opinion, actual humbleness, actual, openness, and people who actually want to move forward in their life, it's being able to listen to someone that you don't like, right? Even when is listening to someone you don't like when you know that they're right, okay? It's so difficult for people to do, truly so difficult. You notice if someone doesn't like you, it doesn't matter what you say. They're always going to disagree with you. They're always going to push against what you have to say. Try not to be that person. Try to be the person that is focused on your path. And ironically, by comparing yourself to others in this manner, you really are lowering your ego instead of getting this like inflamed ego where you refuse to compare yourself to someone else and you refuse to see the parts of yourself that are wrong, okay? So I'm not saying compare yourself as a way to make yourself feel better or to feel worse. Compare yourself to someone as a way to move forward in your life, as a way to gain information from that person and see how you can improve, okay? So anyways, don't have an ego that makes you avoid valuable information that could potentially move you forward because of your own personal grudges. Don't lose the opportunity of learning more quickly, more efficiently, and getting to where you want to be because of ego. Anyways, guys, if you found this video helpful, please check out some of my other videos. Please leave a like and subscribe. Have a great day.